What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new football video where shocking emails have been revealed by the Daily Mail proving that Manchester City did cheat financial fair play rules, and the fresh evidence appears to show that Man City had millions and millions of pounds funneled into the club by Abu Dhabi, and the Sheikh who is the ruler of Abu Dhabi is the owner of Manchester City to help inflate their income. And in this video we will also reveal new evidence to show that Man City in the last 10 years earned 1.7 billion pounds, 600 million pounds more from sponsorship deals than some of the biggest clubs in the world. And can you honestly tell me, even if you are a Manchester City fan, that Man City have so many fans and such a big audience that they can earn more money from sponsorship deals than the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester United, some of the biggest clubs in the world who have worked 100 years to win multiple Champions League and multiple titles and league titles and cups. And this is very significant because yes, they got out of the Champions League, 2-year Champions League ban which was imposed on them by UEFA, but the Premier League is still investigating them on financial fair play rules, and the Premier League doesn't have that 5-year expiration that UEFA had, and that's why basically Man City got off with just a slap on the wrist, a 10 million fine, which is absolutely nothing. It's like pocket change for Abu Dhabi. But the Premier League doesn't have an expiration to their rules. So if Manchester City did cheat, and if the Premier League investigation finds them to be culpable, they could be deducted points, docked points in the Premier League. And I say let's give them a 40 points deduction, and let's see how they like that. Let's see when Man City are fighting to not get relegated in the Premier League, how will they feel then? That will be, I think, a justifiable penalty. And if you fast forward to the early summer of 2014, a source very close to Man City emailed the newspaper Mail on Sunday and claimed that Etihad's 10-year 340 million sponsorship with Man City was not in fact mainly funded by Etihad, the airline, but rather through Etihad, and that a state entity, so a United Arab Emirates state entity, was picking up most of the tab and paying that. So basically they were directly paid by their owners through Etihad Airways, which is also a United Arab Emirates company, and that is just absolutely scandalous and it is against the rules. So basically what the Etihad owner did is the Man City owner basically paid the club through the company the sponsorship deal and many more million pounds over what the market value of the sponsorship deal was. So when it went the UEFA 2-year ban, after that Man City appealed, it went to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and Pierce was asked, have you ever arranged any payments to be made to Etihad in relation to its sponsorship obligations of Man City? He said absolutely categorically not, and the official Court of Arbitration for Sport verdict reported that Mr. Pierce did not strike the panel as being an unreliable witness. Yet just days after the Court of Arbitration for Sport verdict cleared Man City of disguised funding, the German magazine Der Spiegel published unseen material that suggested that Mr. Pierce had provided evidence to CAS that conflicted with previous claims. The whole case against Man City by UEFA had started with the publication in 2018 of a series of emails by Der Spiegel they published that basically show wrongdoing by Man City. And this latest email that was published, it was from Simon Pierce, who is a key strategic figure at Man City and their related football companies, and a special advisor to the most senior figures in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And the email was to Peter Baumgartner, and Baumgartner was Chief Operating Officer at Etihad Airways at the time. And in this email, Mr. Pierce outlines that Etihad owed Manchester City £31.5 million in year-on-year sponsorship uplift for 2012-2013, plus 67.5 million for 2013-2014, broken down into 35 million for Manchester City shirt and 17.5 million for training kit and campus naming rights sponsorships, and 50 million for stadium naming rights, each for a single season. To put this into context, the next highest shirt deal for a club in England was Arsenal's £30 million a year, while Man United's with Aon at the time was worth 20 million. Man City's 35 million for the shirt alone would have been the biggest shirt deal in the world that year. And that is what I'm talking about. Don't tell me that Man City could get a legitimate shirt deal worth almost 50% more than Manchester United at the time, when Man City have about 1/10 the amount of fans that Man United have. Absolutely ridiculous. And this appears to show that Manchester City should receive £99 million according to the email, of which Etihad would provide 8 million. Pierce goes on to say he should have forwarded the difference, 91 million, but had sent only 88.5 million. Pierce is emailing from an account linked to his job as advisor to the United Arab Emirates government. This email isn't discussing proposed events, but something that has already happened. Payment to Etihad from a non-Etihad member, basically payment from a government official inside United Arab Emirates government, or at least with very close ties to the government. So this is how it went down. The supposed 99 million pounds that should have been paid, 91 million of that 99 million pounds was not paid by Etihad Airways, even though the sponsorship deal was between Etihad Airways and Manchester City. Do you see how scandalous that is? That 91 million of the 99 million sponsorship money was paid by the United Arab Emirates government itself. Absolutely scandalous, in my opinion. It's so unfair that Man City, because they get rich owners, they get to buy and build the most expensive squad in world football. When Man City rested almost their full 11 before a Champions League semi-final second leg, they could still put out a starting 11 which would beat most Premier League teams apart from maybe the top 4, and that is ridiculous. So the Mail on Sunday got paperwork that proves that Manchester City invoiced Etihad one season for £12 million for the 2010-2011 shirt sponsorship deal, but the invoice had a handwritten annotation that Etihad themselves were only due to pay £4 million that year. So in this one instance, Man City got £8 million more on this one sponsorship deal than they were supposed to get. And Man City has always claimed that they only get sponsorship deals which are market value, but don't tell me Man City's market value is 3 times as much as some of the other top clubs. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the writer said of the email, as you are aware, Etihad's commitment is for 4 million, but the remaining balance, the 8 million pounds, is handled separately by the United Arab Emirates Executive Affairs Authority. So please, can you clarify this to your accountant's department and pick it up direct with the EAA in due course. And the sources that Mail on Sunday had show that it was the City Etihad shirt deal at the time, signed by Man City's then CEO Gary Cook and Etihad CEO James Hogan, would cost Etihad £4 million that season, having cost them £3 million the previous season and £4.5 million in the next season. But they paid £12 million for that sponsorship deal. And the EAA were picking up the difference between the headline 12 million and the 4 million Etihad were paying. And according to their website, specialized government agency mandated to provide strategic policy advice to the chairman of the Abu Dhabi Executive Council, and correspondence seen by the newspaper Mail on Sunday, and it was supported by the paperwork that they got their hands on, suggested Etihad were not in fact paying the amounts Man City were invoicing for, but United Arab Emirates entity serving Sheikh Mohammed was. This is absolutely scandalous, and City have allegedly benefited from abnormally high sponsorship deals from entities based in the United Arab Emirates. Isn't it funny that most of their sponsorship deals in the early years came from that country? Doesn't that sound suspicious to you guys? What is also absolutely disgraceful is that at the Court of Arbitration for Sport hearing, this person, this Pierce guy, was asked if he had ever arranged any payments to be made to Etihad in relation to its sponsorship obligations of Manchester City Football Club, and he answered absolutely categorically not. So he lied in front of court, and this email proves it. This email proves it. If you want, you can check out the Daily Mail website. It's headline news right now as I'm making this video. And this post Court of Arbitration for Sport bombshell email published by Der Spiegel last year is dated December 16th 2013 from Pierce using his EAA email address and sent to Peter Baumgartner, the chief operating officer at the time of Etihad. And this email details how absolutely scandalous and blatantly disgracefully breaking the rules Man City were doing even at that time. And yes, maybe lately they got more sophisticated and worked out some ways to funnel money into Manchester City through other avenues, but this evidence absolutely shows that Man City got a lot more money from sponsorship deals than they were supposed to get on market value, and that is absolutely not allowed. It's absolutely against the rules, and the Premier League should be coming down on Manchester City very, very heavily, and they should punish them to the full extent of the law. I want to see points, big points deductions, and also transfer bans. I mean, Chelsea got a transfer ban for 2 transfer windows for signing players under 18 years old, which is, yes, it's also against the rules, but it's a much smaller issue in my opinion than Man City getting funneled money by their owners directly, a lot of money in fact, for years and years and years, inflating their budget, inflating their revenues, and basically just building them up to be this absolutely most richest club in the world, and that they should be nowhere near the amount of money that they have if financial fair play rules were to be followed. So if Man City followed financial fair play rules, they would be nowhere near the amount of money that they are earning from sponsorship deals. And in the last 10 years, Man City earning £600 million more than clubs like Manchester United and Liverpool. It's absolutely disgraceful and scandalous. And I mean, just look at Man City's squad. At the start of last season, they had a squad that had cost 1 billion euros. That's 974 million pounds in transfer fees, and that is the most expensive in global football. Don't tell me that Man City are the most popular football club and they could get the biggest sponsorship deals and the biggest revenue in the TV deals, in the Champions League deals and everything else, because that's just not true. Man City are at most the 4th or 5th most watched club in the Premier League, but maybe even 6th. Maybe they are ahead of Tottenham, but that's it. Out of the other top 5, I think even Chelsea have more fans than Manchester City. So if you count the 10 years before 2020, Man City earned 1.7 billion in commercial income. In the same period, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal averaged 1.1 billion each, meaning Manchester City earned 600 million more from commercial deals than those other clubs of similar size and status. But that's the point, they are not similar size and status. Liverpool and Arsenal are much bigger than Manchester City, and I think Chelsea are also bigger than Manchester City. And this potentially becomes a huge problem for Man City if it is conclusively proved that chunks of money apparently being paid as sponsorship by arm's length third parties was or is in fact ultimately being funded by Manchester City's owners or parties related to him and not by the bodies claimed. And I think they should be punished big time. So that's it for today's video. I just wanted to take a deep dive into this issue and to give you guys as much evidence and as much information as possible. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later guys. Goodbye.